Before we begin, I want you to pause for a moment and feel the weight of history resting on our shoulders. We are living in an age where nations rise and fall, where alliances decide the destiny of generations, and where the choices of today shape the freedom of tomorrow. This is not just about politics. It is about purpose. It is about two great democracies standing side by side, not by chance, but by design. Stay with me, because what we uncover today is not when we talk about the U.S. and India's alliance. The first and most powerful reason rests on one undeniable fact: China's rise. Beijing has grown into the single greatest challenger to American influence in the world, especially across the Indo-Pacific. It is not just about military strength. It is about economics, technology, territorial ambitions, and a vision of reshaping global order. This is where India steps in. Positioned right next door to China, with a population just as massive and a military rapidly modernizing, India naturally becomes the counterweight America cannot afford to lose. The Indo-Pacific is the new stage of global power competition. Shipping routes, trade lanes, and resource-rich waters pass through this region. China's expansion in the South China Sea and its Belt and Road Initiative show how far it is willing to go to dominate. But a single nation, even the U.S., cannot alone contain that influence. India's geography, stretching across the Indian Ocean, gives it a frontline role. Its ports, naval capabilities, and growing partnerships with other Asian democracies make it an anchor for stability. Beyond geography, India has the political will to resist Chinese dominance. Unlike many nations pressured or swayed by China's economic might, India has proven it can stand firm. Whether in border disputes at the Himalayas or in global forums where balance is tested. The U.S. sees India as not just a partner, but as a force multiplier. Together, they amplify each other's power, making it harder for Beijing to tip the scales of global order. Without India, Washington knows the challenge of countering China becomes heavier, riskier, and far more uncertain. India today represents one of the most dynamic and promising markets in the world. And that fact does not go unnoticed in Washington. With a population surpassing 1.4 billion people, a rapidly growing middle class, and an economy projected to become the third largest globally within this decade, India stands as a land of vast economic opportunities. For the United States, which thrives on innovation, trade, and global partnerships, losing access to such a market would be a setback too large to ignore. American companies view India as both a consumer hub and a production powerhouse. From technology to pharmaceuticals, agriculture to defense, the scale of cooperation is immense. U.S. giants in the digital economy, companies like Google, Apple, and Amazon already invest heavily in India because they know the demand curve is only moving upward. Every smartphone purchased, every service subscribed, every infrastructure project built opens doors for U.S. businesses to expand their reach and profits. At the same time, India is not only a buyer, it is also a partner in co-developing technology and industries. The defense sector is a prime example, where joint ventures are creating next-generation systems and equipment. Energy is another, as the U.S. looks to supply liquefied natural gas while cooperating on renewable technologies. These partnerships generate jobs, investments, and technological breakthroughs on both sides. In the larger picture, the U.S. sees India as essential in diversifying global supply chains. After witnessing the vulnerabilities of depending too heavily on China, Washington recognizes India's manufacturing potential as a safer, long-term alternative. With its skilled workforce, expanding industrial base, and commitment to reforms, India offers the U.S. not just profits, but security and economic resilience. When it comes to defense and security, the U.S. and India share one of the fastest growing partnerships in the world. Over the past 2 decades, the two nations have moved from being distant observers to trusted collaborators in safeguarding their mutual interests. The U.S. understands that India's strategic location, massive military presence, and willingness to invest in modernization make it an indispensable ally in maintaining balance across Asia. The defense cooperation is not limited to the sale of weapons. It includes intelligence sharing, joint military exercises, and technology transfers. India participates in high-profile exercises such as Malabar alongside U.S. naval forces, Japan, and Australia, reinforcing the Quad alliance and sending a clear message to rivals about their combined strength. These exercises are more than symbolic. They prepare forces to work seamlessly together in real-world crises, whether in combating piracy, maintaining freedom of navigation, or responding to regional conflicts. Beyond drills, the U.S. supplies India with advanced defense equipment, ranging from aircraft to surveillance systems, boosting India's ability to secure its borders and project power in the Indian Ocean. But this relationship is evolving beyond buyer-seller dynamics. Increasingly, there are joint ventures and co-production deals where American and Indian companies collaborate to develop next-generation military technology. This not only strengthens India's defense industry, but also creates interdependence that binds the two nations closer together. Furthermore, security cooperation extends into newer arenas like cybersecurity and space. Both nations recognize that the battlegrounds of the future are digital and orbital, requiring trusted partners to safeguard critical infrastructure and data. In an era of shifting power, the U.S. sees India as a frontline partner, one whose defense cooperation is not a luxury, but a necessity for preserving stability and protecting shared democratic interests in the region. At the heart of the U.S.-India relationship lies a foundation deeper than strategy, trade, or military power. It is the bond of democracy. Both nations stand as vibrant examples of societies built on freedom, rule of law, and the power of the people's voice. The U.S. views India not just as a partner of convenience, but as a partner of principle. In a world where authoritarian systems are gaining ground, the presence of the world's largest democracy alongside the world's oldest democracy becomes a symbol of resilience and hope. India's democratic structure gives it credibility in ways few other U.S. allies can offer. Its active parliament, free press, and civil society mirror many of the democratic traditions America holds dear. For Washington, aligning with India allows it to strengthen a global narrative that democracy, despite its imperfections, remains the best system for empowering people and sustaining peace. This is more than ideology, it is geopolitics. Every time India speaks up for democratic norms in Asia or at the United Nations, it reinforces America's message in regions where authoritarian influence is spreading. Moreover, the bond of values strengthens trust. Partnerships rooted solely in interest can shift when power changes hands, but when nations share common ideals, cooperation endures longer. Both countries believe in protecting individual freedoms, building inclusive societies, and creating opportunities for their citizens. This makes joint efforts in education, technology, human rights, and governance more natural and sustainable. As the global stage becomes increasingly polarized, the U.S. knows it cannot lead the fight for democratic values alone. India's moral weight as a nation where over 1 billion people practice democracy every day adds force to America's vision of a world shaped not by coercion but by consent. One of the most powerful bonds between the U.S. and India lies in the field of technology and innovation. In a world driven by digital transformation, artificial intelligence, space exploration, and clean energy, the U.S. recognizes that India is not just a consumer of technology, but a creator and pioneer. With its vast pool of skilled engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs, India has become a hub of innovation that complements America's leadership in research and development. The partnership stretches across multiple industries. In information technology, Indian firms are key players in powering global software and services, while American tech giants establish research centers and innovation hubs across Indian cities. This cross-pollination of talent and resources ensures that both nations remain competitive in a rapidly advancing world. In semiconductors, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence, collaborations are being forged to secure supply chains and outpace rivals in critical technologies. Space exploration is another frontier where cooperation is taking off. NASA and ISRO have partnered on missions, satellite development, and research, combining American resources with India's cost-effective innovations. These collaborations extend beyond exploration. They include climate monitoring, disaster management, and global communications, technologies with far-reaching benefits for humanity. Clean energy and sustainability are also vital areas of cooperation. As the world faces the urgency of climate change, the U.S. and India are joining forces on renewable energy technologies like solar, wind, and green hydrogen. These initiatives not only support environmental goals, but also fuel new industries and jobs on both sides. By investing in each other's innovation ecosystems, the U.S. and India ensure they remain leaders in shaping the future. For America, losing India in this field would mean losing a trusted partner in creating technologies that define the next century. Ladies and gentlemen, the alliance between the United States and India is not a matter of convenience. It is a matter of destiny. Together, they stand as pillars of strength in a shifting world, balancing power, driving innovation, protecting democracy, and shaping the future of humanity. The U.S. knows that to lose India is to lose stability, opportunity, and vision for tomorrow. This partnership is not just strategy, it is legacy. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your belief in this journey. May wisdom guide our nations and may courage lead us forward. Good luck and God bless you. Just strategy, it is spirit, it is strength, and it is the story of tomorrow.